return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no. I'm from Jerusalem, hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no. Sitting on
Salama family, what is going on?
Salama, salama. How are you all doing today? We are well. We are, just practicing some patience over here. It's always good to be able to practice patience.
Yes, indeed. Man, so family, let me just start off by saying this. Pole Sana. So our guests for tonight, they are in Zimbabwe, in the school that they have, their diaspora who went to Zimbabwe. They are building a school in a rural village there, and they told us it might be an issue with the internet, and I guess the internet did that. So as you might have noticed, the name of this video has changed, and so I thank you for y'all sticking with us. Hopefully we will be able to get that worked out and get them on here another time, because they are doing some great work in Zimbabwe. But man, family, so what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about spiritual warfare here on the continent. And you know what made that come up? Just getting this show going tonight. So let me tell y'all what's been going on with us. So the computer that we normally use, the charger stopped working, right? And so we couldn't get the computer to charge. So that's why we canceled the show for last week and made it for this week. Yes, Mr. Sky, I can see you. You're back. I'm glad to have you. So it wasn't working. And then, so we had to get Isha G's old computer out, which we've been trying to get fixed because the screen went black on us. So I ended up having to go and buy a TV today and hook her computer up to the TV so that we can see the screen to do the show. And so her computer hasn't been used in almost 8 months, because that's how long
longer than that. It's been over a year.
Oh man, trying to get the screen fixed because there's no Geek Squad over here. So, your computer has a problem. It's not that easy to get it fixed. So, Sarah Desert Bantu, I do apologize, my sister. I don't remember seeing an email from you. You can see at the bottom of the screen, are you sending it to the stepping stones to home@gmail.com? If so, please email us again. I do apologize. Or put your email in the chat, and Isha G will write it down, and we will email you after we get off of here. I do apologize. So going back to what I was saying, then our computer shut down, and we had to do an update to it. So then once we did the update, then we came back here, and
our guests are having problems. But it is okay, because like I said, we're just practicing patience, and every once in a while, we know that the Most High, He wants you to put some exercise in these fruits of the Spirit. So,
yes.
We're just practicing some patience over here, and it's all good. So we just gonna keep moving forward. So spiritual warfare on the continent. We had some people ask us about some things on the continent. We told some people just, a few things, but we didn't really go into details about spiritual warfare. And we have gone through some spiritual warfare on the continent, okay? So it's not to scare anybody, but I know that it's a lot of you that have been getting consultations from different ones here on the continent. because you're ready to leave Babylon, or the Most High. You know, the Most High is calling you out of Babylon, and you're like, I'm out. So, you know, this was going to be a show that we're going to do at another time, but I guess right now is the time. So, so we just want to just make you guys aware, or some things to be aware of when you're coming to the continent, because you guys know the enemy does not want us back here. He does not want us back here on this continent
at all.
And most of us, I have not really heard one person yet that has told me they had a smooth transition from leaving the U.S. to coming to the continent. Everybody's stories is like it was warfare, just trying to exit out of the U.S. It was something that was going on that was trying to prevent all of us from leaving the U.S.
Right.
So that is warfare, you know. And so when you leave the U.S. and you come to the continent, I know initially we have this moment of, what do you call it?
Fear.
No, not fear, where you step foot on the continent and everybody's just so elated, just okay. Wow, yeah. Home. You feel just like connected, like this is my homeland, right?
You get this feeling of deja vu, but it's weird type of deja vu, because you know good and well I've never been to the continent, you know, and so when it happens, you're like, man, this seems some type of familiarity. Once you get euphoria, yes, that right there. Thank you, Denise. Euphoria. That's the word we're looking for. Hallelujah.
Yeah. So coming to the continent is great. You know, the feeling that you get and everything is absolutely amazing. But when you are a real child of the Most High, and you're one of those people that you know you put in prayers, you know, you are one that you fight against the enemy. You're reading the word, you're using your sword, what we have, the word of the Most High, to fight against the enemy, right? The enemy knows who's really real with the Most High. And it's like when you get here, you start experiencing things. Craziness, spiritual warfare.
Things that make no sense.
Right. So we're just going to tell you guys about some of the things that we have gone through and then how we have overcome them. So I guess,
where should we start?
Well, we already talked about before we came to the continent. It was spiritual warfare because we had sold all of our things in our apartment so that we would have a little bit of money to come to the continent with. But we sold all of our things about a month, I think, before we left.
Right. And
we had to travel down to say our goodbyes to our family members and different ones. So we had our car. So, you know, we still needed to make some money, and we used our car to make money. Our car broke down.
I would look, if any of y'all was in Georgia, in the Atlanta area, and you ordered DoorDash or Uber Eats, I was your guy.
So our car broke down. So needless to say, and we needed tires.
Yes.
So we had to end up spending the little bit of money that we had just so we could make it through until it was time for us to leave. So that was our first bet, right? And so you guys hear the story of how we didn't have money coming over here. Well, that's what happened. Okay, Stockbridge. Yeah, we know Stockbridge. Our little brother used to do football training down there. So that was our first bet, because it was like, well, what are we gonna do if we spend this money then to get the car fixed, because we still got a month or so to get around and to travel. What are we gonna do? So we got the car fixed. We're like, we don't know what we're gonna do, but we know we need a ride right now. So we spent the money and we just was like, well, we don't know, we're just gonna trust the Most High. And you guys know our testimony, so I'm not gonna go into that. Now, fast forward when we get to the continent. So our our very first house that we stayed in, when we first got here, we used to have Shabbat gatherings with just different people. Some people would have it at their houses, and so sometimes we would have Shabbat at just like I don't know,
a group of us.
Just would get together at different places and have Shabbat. So where we were having Shabbat this one day, this was our first battle on a level that we have never experienced ever in our life, because we've experienced spiritual warfare in the States, but this was the first one where it was just like one of those things where like you really get slapped and you ain't see it coming.
Sucker punch.
So we're in after the gathering, we're at this restaurant, and we're all there, and we call for our driver to come pick us up. And so it's like a long time. Our driver is not there. We're like, it's been like an hour. Why is he not here yet? So he's stuck in traffic. So there's this shalom. So there's this lady that walks into the restaurant, and I noticed her out of the corner of my eye. She has a gray veil on her head, and it has white flowers on it.
Witches are real.
So she sits with her back towards us, and the waiters and waitresses, everybody that would come over to her, she would pull her veil in front of her face. She didn't want nobody to see her face. And so we noticed her, but we were like, what is up with this lady, this weird lady? We didn't know. So our ride finally got there. He was like 2 hours late. So we all leave.
Remember all the traffic outside?
I'm about to get to that. So we all leave. And so when we turn, it's traffic, like jam-packed, both directions. It's only a 2-lane highway. One going, I don't know if it was north, south, east, or west, but it was 2 lanes. And so it was just like dead stop. Traffic wasn't moving. So when we finally started moving, we looked, there was nothing causing the traffic jam. Nothing at all. There was no accidents. There were no people walking in the road. There was absolutely nothing causing this traffic jam. So it's 4 of us in the car, 2 families. We go to drop the first family off, and we're like, man, I don't know. Well, I was asleep in the car.
So I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna take over from here. Some people we've already shared this story with, but we just, for this, what we're talking about right now, and this is just the beginning of things. So, we're in the car with the other family, and other family's like, why don't y'all just stay tonight, and and you can head back to your house tomorrow. And I'm like, nah, we good. And so there's the first one. Why don't y'all stay the night? Me being hard-headed, I'm like, no, we good. And then Isha G's like, why don't we stay and just go because it's late? And I was like, nah, it's good. So we called from their house our boda. So that's a motorcycle, right? And so he comes, he picks us up. We're traveling back to where we stay. And as we're traveling, a bajaji, which is like a 3-wheel type of motorcycle little thing, is coming the other direction. So we're on the motorcycle going one way.
There is no traffic on the road.
None.
Going in either direction. It's just us on the motorcycle and this bajaji.
Right.
Some of y'all might know them as tuk-tuks.
Right. So then the bajaji comes over into our lane, boom, hits us and takes off. We go down on the bike. We're going down and we're beginning to slide on the road. And so it's the boda driver, Isha G, and then me. And so I put my arm under her so that I took the brunt of the ground. But unfortunately, her foot got caught under the motorcycle and she ended up fracturing 2 toes. And all the skin off my arm came off. And so
we're in the road.
The middle of the road.
And all I can see now in the distance is headlights.
Yeah, there's cars coming.
And so my husband, he's like, babe, are you all right? And all I see is headlights, and I'm like, get out the road. So we both run.
Yeah, you want me to tell the story or not? See, we can laugh now about it, but you know that night was very devastating. You know what I'm saying? And so she was like, "Get out of the road," and that's how we figured out that she had fractured her toes because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we didn't know.
It was adrenaline.
But it was pure adrenaline because she tried to stand up and she couldn't, and so she just crawled on her legs, and we ran out of the road. And so we had called our friends who were up the road because they had just dropped us off. So they came and picked us up, and our other friends met us at the hospital. And look, that was just so it was tough for me because as a man, my job was to protect my wife, and the Most High spoke clearly twice, saying, "Don't go." But no, I didn't listen. And because of that, my wife ended up never in her life has she ever had a broken bone. And because of my disobedience and not listening, she fractured 2 toes, hit her mouth on the ground, chipped her tooth. I know she didn't want me to tell y'all that.
Yeah, chipped my tooth. I ain't bust my lip, but I scraped my lip, and I had a gash in my knee. I had to get stitches in my knee.
Wait, I gotta talk to y'all about this gash that was in her knee. How about, let me tell y'all, I can't make this up. Her scar looks like a small Africa.
Like literally, it's faded now. But I think I have a picture of it. The scar on my knee was in the shape of Africa.
I can't make this up, y'all.
I am so serious. And so, I had to get stitches in my knee. My husband, he had to get stitches in his elbow. And then I had a gash around one of my toes. So I had to get my toe stitched up. And then I had to get a cast put on. And I've never been in a cast, like you said, I've never broken a bone. So I'm like, I don't want to get in a cast. I'm like, no, just let the Most High heal me. So the doctor, he's laughing at me because he's like, it's just a cast. But I'm like, but for me in my head, I'm thinking, if I'm itching in the cast, how I'm going to scratch it? That's what I'm thinking about.
This is what she's worried about at the time.
Right. So like I say, we're laughing about this now, but needless to say, that night we weren't laughing.
Not at all.
And so I remember we went home and I reflected back on that night and I said that lady, and I knew right then that lady that came inside that restaurant, she was a witch. The other reason I know, because we weren't the only ones got in an accident that night. One of the other young ladies who was there with us, her and her children got in an accident that night, leaving just like we did, but not in a It was hard. It was hard to me, so I was wondering that.
So I'm gonna tell you how she showered. Go ahead,
another young lady, her and her 2 children, they got in an accident that same night, leaving. So
now they were okay.
They were okay. But it was the lady. It was witchcraft. And so, I knew then, I was like, man, it was that lady. She was the witch. And that's why when she came in, like, it's like we zoned in on her. And it was like you just felt something in there, but you didn't know what it was. And her back was turned to us, so we couldn't, like, really get a good look at her face or whatever. So that was our first spat with witchcraft on that level, where it's like something physical had happened.
Right. And, real fast, let me answer our sister Denise's question. Every time it was time for her to take a shower, I had to take a chair in there, take a bucket for her to put her foot up on to keep the cast out of the water.
Yes.
So that was a whole new experience for her. And it was her first time ever being on crutches. It was a movie.
It was. So I was in a cast for 6 weeks, and then I went into a boot.
Mm-hmm. And then tell them how you went walking on the beach, and after you got out of the boot.
Yeah, after I got out of the boot, I went walking on the beach and fractured one of the toes and had to go back in the boot. You know, so it was a long journey. And that was during the time where you guys didn't see us for a while.
Yeah.
So that was our first battle with spiritual warfare.
We had to recuperate from that one.
Immediately after we realized that it was a witch, we immediately went into warfare.
Yes.
And so we pulled out our scriptures and we just began to war against the enemy. Just war, praying against the enemy, praying against witches and everything. Like, I have a lot of scriptures that I read for certain things. If it's, witches and spiritual warfare, I have scriptures that I read for different things. So we're warring in the spirit. Yes, Mr. Scott, this is a spiritual land. Everything is amplified when you're here. So that was our first battle. So we had to go into spiritual warfare and
All right, family. Sorry about that. We must be making the enemy mad. So hallelujah. Because just for no reason, our internet shut off and kicked us out. But we're back. If y'all can hear us, give me a 1.
okay. So I went to get my stitches out, and
that's right, Auntie Carol. We bind it up.
Yes. I went to get my stitches out, and the guy, the nurse, I don't know what it was, or if it was just, I don't know what it was, but my cut was not healed all the way. And so he went to cut the stitches out. And y'all know the stitches are like nylon. Oh my gosh. The blade he used was dull. And my scar was raw. My cut was still raw. It had not healed all the way. And so he's yanking on the nylon to cut the stitch out. I have never felt anything that painful. I almost passed out.
I thought I was going to jail in Tanzania, and you don't want to go to jail in Tanzania. Seeing your wife there like that.
But I Abba is good because through spiritual warfare, warring in the spirit and everything, we both came out fine. My husband always says, you know, even though the enemy he'll try and throw things your way. And the word says no weapon formed against you will prosper. That doesn't mean that they won't be formed against you, because the enemy, he's going to try, right? So that night, we know the enemy's goal was to take us out.
Yep.
That night. But the Most High was good and gracious, and he still sent his angels to protect us, where, oh my goodness, it could have been so much worse, you know, so much worse, but the Most High is good. So that was the first thing that happened to us here. Now, Moshi, y'all, we have a whole video on Moshi, but
we're going to repeat these things for those of you who are new to the channel, you know, because it all ties into just the spiritual warfare here on the continent.
Right. So Moshi, you guys know we've talked about all the things that we went through in Moshi and how 3 different times it's like the enemy tried to take us out when we went to Moshi. We almost flew off of a cliff.
Twice.
Almost
got attacked by a lion.
Well, I don't want to say we almost got attacked by lions, but we got locked in a national park while it was feeding time for the predators. And then the mountain we was on, it was so dangerous, and we had no way of going a safe path, another passageway. You know, we had to keep trucking along this dangerous, you know, pathway that had a straight drop down the cliff. So Moshi was spiritual warfare, because I'm like, what?
Oh, sorry, it was 4. Remember, I almost fell off the mountain because she stopped right in front of me as we were walking up.
Well, yeah. So I'm like, why are we going through these things like in Moshi? Like literally, we're going down a hill, y'all, in a car, and we know, Mr. Scott, we know, but we didn't know.
Yes, Mr. Sky warned us about Moshi. Again, I didn't listen.
We went to Moshi.
I'm getting better at listening, though. I'm getting better at listening.
So, we're going down a hill, and we're up the mountain, and the lady.
No. The first part with you gotta talk about the mountain first. Me almost falling off. That was first.
It's part of Mount Kilimanjaro. It was like a 20-minute hike.
We walk an hour.
We walked more than an hour.
One way.
So the one area, the pathway was not wide
at all.
And so once we got past that area, I'm like, make sure there's no more pathways like this. And he said, it's another way we can go on the way out. It's not like this. Okay. Straight line. Just about the whole walk past the widest part, it was a narrow path. And I'm like, well, if I go back the other way, I still got to walk down a narrow path. He says it's not far this way. We can go a different way to leave. Still a very narrow path. And my husband almost slipped off one of the highest points of the mountain because the lady that was walking in front of him stopped mid-step, and he had a stick in his hand. He had like this little staff stick, and when he slipped, he dug it into the ground, and that's how he was able to hold himself up. And so that was the second time. On our way home, the guy that was driving us, it started pouring down rain. We're in this old car.
Yeah.
And the guy, when we get to the driveway to go to the house, there's a steep embankment into the neighborhood. And so it's muddy. And if you guys know about African roads, like the dirt roads, they're clay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to go up those roads, like you need a certain type of car really out here, like 4-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive something.
So he couldn't make it up the steep embankment, and every time he would go, the car would roll back right to the edge of the cliff. And so he did that twice, and
we
just
stop
got out the car.
We're gonna walk in the rain.
We just walked to the house in the rain. And we almost fell because it floods. So the area was flooding. The water was up to our ankles. We almost fell down, but we made it. I was so terrified of my day. Next day, y'all, we're in the same car, but it's a different driver now. It's not raining, it's dry.
And it's a manual.
And so we're going down the same mountain that the house is on. And the lady that's driving, she forgets where the brake is. She's hitting the clutch, going down the mountain, thinking she's hitting the brakes, and she starts freaking out. And we start speeding up, going down this mountain, and we looking up ahead, and we see a sharp curve coming up.
And there's no way we're gonna make that curve, so we're going off the side of the mountain.
Right.
Now I'm gonna take over from here because
I don't want to go into too much of it. You can tell what you.
No, I'm talking all this. Listen, Isha G tried to leave me, y'all. I'm in the car. Look, I'm trying to be like a hero, and I hope is the sound all right, y'all. Give me a 1 if you can hear me clearly. Mr. Sky said we got choppy sound. How's that? Can you guys hear us? Okay, cool. So as we're going, and I'm thinking, okay, now I'm going to jump in the front seat and I'm going to pull the car because over to the closest to the inside of the mountain, there is like a little ditch. So I'm going to pull the car into the ditch, and yes, it's going to hurt, might break a bone or something, but you'll be alive. So I get ready to do that at the corner of my eye because me and Isha G sitting in the back seat, and the lady's driving and her sister sitting in the front seat. Isha G opens her door and she's about to jump out. And then the lady in the front, the sister, she opens her door. She's about to jump out. And so I grab Isha G like, what you doing? She's like, I'm not going off that cliff. And I'm like, oh, you going to leave me in the car? And so we had enough time to say that. And then I'm like, Most High, do something. So the car is going now about between 60 and 70 miles an hour going down. The car comes to a complete stop after I said, Most High, do something.
Yeah, we started praying.
Yeah,
the car stopped.
Came to a complete stop. Now, let me tell you how we know this was the Most High. The front tire blew out. So for all my drivers, 60 to 70 miles an hour and you blow out a tire, the car is going to flip, lose control. None of that happened.
We didn't slide. It
Nope.
just came to a stop on the side of the road right before the cliff. And needless to say, I did not get back in that car. I walked right back up to that house and I stayed in that house until it was time for us to leave and come back to Dar es Salaam.
Now, listen, I don't condone medicinal therapy, but that day, if I would have had it, I would have been on it because that was just too much stress for 2 days. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. It was one of them days where, you're like, I want to drink.
So yeah, it was once again, I'm like, what is the enemy? The enemy. He knew we are here. We're here and back on the continent, and yeah, it was one thing after another. And then we tried to just relax for a bit and go to the national park on our way home, and then we end up getting locked in the national park when it's like feeding time for all the predators. And literally the people that worked in the park, they knew we was in there for real. Unseen. They knew we were in there and they left us. They left us and their tour guide who worked for them. They just left us and locked the gate in the park.
Yeah.
And so there was the what do you call those people?
They're like they protect the animals from the poachers, the game wardens.
Yeah. They happened to be in the park, and we happened to pass by them on the same trail, And that's how we ended up getting out of the park. But then we got held at gunpoint by the game wardens because they thought we were poachers. So, you know, at this point, I was just like, I'm getting in the car. When they let us go, I say, I'm going to sleep. I don't want to open my eyes until I see my house.
Rangers, yes. Thank you, Mrs. Scott. The game Rangers.
Yes. So, you know, that was our second thing with spiritual warfare. Once again, got home. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, this is the enemy. Because first, everything with my foot, right after my foot healed and I got out of the boot, the second time is when we went to Moshi, and then we almost flew off a cliff twice. So we went back into spiritual warfare. Thankfully, the Most High knows, and He's watching out for us, and He saw everything that was going to happen before we did.
Yes.
And He was there, had His angels to protect us. And literally all I could think about, like when I was on that mountain, is angels, big old giant angels walking beside us, keeping us up. So we went back into spiritual warfare again, scriptures and everything, just really warring in the spirit. And so after then, we ain't go nowhere else. Mm-hmm. So we stayed around town and we started just doing warfare, like continual warfare. And the Most High is good, y'all, because we literally could have lost our lives like 4 or 5 different times, but He kept us alive.
And the dreams about snakes started.
Right. So then that was right before the Most High had us like on like I don't want to say a timeout, but it was a time where He just had us really crying out to Him. We did not leave our house unless we were going grocery shopping. We did not go anywhere.
Nowhere.
Because we were just like crying out to the Most High, because we were here on the continent and it's like doors were being closed in our face, because you guys know that we were in the process of trying to have the park built down there in Dar es Salaam. And so everything was great. And then doors, like we were walking into walls. And so we just started really crying out to the Most High. We ain't go nowhere. We ain't go hang out with nobody. We didn't do anything but go to the grocery store, come home, eat, fasting, sometimes praying. We had this big courtyard where we stayed, and we would literally walk up and down that courtyard almost all day and night, and we would pray. It's just something about me. I love when I'm praying, I like to look at the sky. I like to be outside. I pray in my house, don't get me wrong. I pray in my house all the time, but it's just something about when I can be outside and pray. I feel like there's no walls around me. And it's like I look up at the sky and I'm like, Abba is right there, you know? So we started just praying, walking up and down the courtyard, praying the word. And we're like, Abba, what do you want us to do? You know, what do you want us to do? Now, needless to say, about right before the accident, for some reason, I pulled out a map one day on my phone, and I'm just like looking at the different areas of Tanzania. And there's this one area on the map, and it's right next to the ocean, and my eyes just landed on it, and I'm like, what is that area? It's like nothing there. And so I don't think anything of it. And so as doors are closing and have been shut in our face, it seems like, I pull out that map. I'm like, Abba, if you don't want us to build anything here, you don't want us to do things in Dar, where do you want us to go? So we're praying these prayers. I pull out my map, same area. I see it. What is this area? Have no idea. So that happened about 4 times. And so some friends of ours, they came to visit Tonga. And so when they came back, they were like, hey, you guys, we went to this place called Tonga. You guys, we're going to be going back in a couple weeks. You guys want to check it out? And we're like, yeah, sure. So again, I pull out my map and I'm like, I got to find out what this area is. Why is it every time I pull out my map, my eyes are are drawn to this area. I don't know what it is. I try and look at other areas. My eyes go right back to the area. And so I'm like, what area is this? So I zoom the map or I zoom it out or whatever. Lo and behold, the area I was looking at was Tonga. And so I was like, babe, the area I've been pointing out, that's Tonga. I was like, this is the area that we're going to. So we came to Tonga 2 weeks after. And when we got here instantly, it's just like we knew this is where the Most High was leading us. This is where he wanted us to be, in Tonga. So before it was time for us to leave, we ain't had no money to go, y'all. So we started praying. And so the Most High blessed us with, we sold all of our furniture, and we're like, we're three-peat again. We had a sofa, a bed, or a refrigerator, a microwave, and somebody had given us some furniture because they left. And so we were able to sell all the stuff that we had, and we're gonna move, just go to Tonga with it. So I mean, when it got close to us moving to Tonga, I remember one night I'm laying in the bed, I opened my eyes. It's like I could hear that, but like something, you know what this is? We're breaking up again.
Can you hear us now?
Can y'all hear us a little bit better? Maybe I need to speak slower.
We apologize, y'all. The internet over here on the continent, look, we 3G over here. So we apologize. Okay.
Yes. So, and the better phone is dead right now. So, Pole Sana. So, I knew I was in my room sleeping, and I was awakened in the middle of the night. And it's like I looked in the corner of the room and I could hear a sound like something spooling up. And I'm like, man, I know what this is. I'm like, I don't need this right now. I'm just so aggravated. I'm like, these spirits. And so I knew it seemed like a portal or something was getting ready to open in the room. And I began to just pray the word and rebuke the enemy, and it went away. So that was right before it was time for us to come to Tonga. And so that was like the third or fourth thing that happened. When we got to Tonga, the house we were in, we were staying with some friends for a week. And the second night we were there, I mean, it was so much spiritual warfare. That night, our son calls us, and it's crazy. He calls us and said, "Oh, I'm bleeding out. She stabbed me. So we're freaking out because our son is telling us that somebody stabbed him and he's bleeding out. And so come to find out, our son is in Vegas. He's grown, y'all. But I don't know what was going on that night, but he didn't get stabbed. And so the police had to get on the phone and tell us he's okay, he's not stabbed and everything. So we were freaking out because for the longest time, he just called and said, so we're calling him back and he's not answering. So thankfully he was okay. But then we go to sleep and I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I open my eyes and what do I see? 3 witches standing at the foot of the bed that we're laying in on my side. And I'm looking at these things and they're all saying something, like they're saying these different words all at the same time. And it's like, it's so crazy because it's like I can hear them, but it's like in my head that I'm hearing them. And I cannot stop the sound. And it's so loud. And so I start calling on Yahusha. And I start calling on Yahusha and saying, you know, Yahuwah rebuke you. And oh my gosh, covered under the shadows of Yahuwah's wings. And I'm just quoting these scriptures, and all of a sudden they disappeared. And I was breaking up again.
Okay, we're good again.
We're good. So these three witches, they're saying these things, and I can't stop the sound. And it's like, I say, I wonder if this is how people who are on drugs and different things, or who have a lot of spirits inside them, what they deal with in their head, because it's like I couldn't stop the voices of them in my head. And so I start calling on Yahuwah, and I start rebuking them, saying, Yahuwah rebuke you, and calling on Yahusha and quoting scriptures about what the Most High has said and what his word says. I don't even remember the scriptures I was quoting at that time. And when they went away, I couldn't sleep. I was so disturbed, and I was angry. And I was like, Most High, I was like, why did you allow that to happen? I say, we just got done praying in this house, doing warfare. Why would you allow that to happen? And I remember hearing that night saying, I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you. And the Most High, he was saying, you have to learn to use my word more. So when I would pray, I would always read my scriptures and stuff, but just when it's a spiritual attack like that, in the moment, I wouldn't use the word. Most of the time, I just call on Yahusha, like, save me, But in that moment, they did not go away until I started really speaking what the word says. And so when I did that, they went away. And so when he was like, I'm teaching you. And I'm like, okay, but still, why? Why would you allow this? Why would you allow it? He was like, I'm teaching you. Now rest. And I kept saying, why? And I kept hearing, rest now, rest. And so I went to sleep. And so from then on, I knew that the Most High, he is like, okay, I'm in training. I get it. So, he's teaching me it's another level of warfare. It's another level of demonic spirits that we encountered over here. Yes, war grounds. And so needless to say, that night, it wasn't just me and my husband who was dealing with it. It's like pretty much everybody in the house was getting attacked that night. Even the young lady that came up with us, she was getting attacked, and we didn't know it until later on, and she told us, and I was like, I wish you would have told me. And so it was spiritual warfare. She had a dream that there was a lady that night, and the lady had a young lady and was like beating her. And so we were in the room, us and the family that we were staying with, and we were trying to get out to help the young lady. And there was another older lady who was standing in front of us, and she was telling her, no, it's okay, she's okay, but we see her getting beat. So we're trying to go out, she's trying to prevent us. And so when we go to rush her to go out the room, her face changes into a goat. And so her face starts changing from a goat to these different animals and stuff like that. So that's the dream the other young lady was having, I guess, around the same time I was experiencing the warfare with the witches and everything. So,
and for me, in the dream that I had that night, there was 9 cubes on a wall. And when I walked up to the wall, they were all glowing like this red, and they And so as I'm looking at them, the snake tries to jump out. And when it does, I have to grab it. I grabbed it and I begin to like break its neck. And then I woke up.
So that was that night. So it was like training ground, yes, for all of us. Somebody said, again, repeat, please.
So I was saying that because I see that its sound had cut out. The dream I had that night, there was 9 cubes on the wall, and they were glowing. And when I went close to them, there was a snake behind one of them, and the snake shot out of one of the cubes, and I grabbed it and broke its neck.
Right. So all of us had these crazy things that happened to us in the same night. And with the area we were in, we were different people coming into this area. And so they knew, who are these people right here in this area? And the minute we got there, we started experiencing that warfare. So that was that time. Now into the house that we're in now. We first moved into this house. This is a different area. Same, still Tonga, but a different area. Sleeping at night. Same thing I hear, like something is opening up. I see a portal open up in my wall. And I get up and I go look. I'm like, what in the world is that? It's a room that I see. And it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like equipment or something that's on the desk. Like it's tables, like a laboratory or something. And all of a sudden, this guy peeks around the equipment, and he's like, what is she doing here? Like, how did she get in here? And when he does that, he takes off after me, and I start rebuking him, and then the portal closes. And then the young lady that's with us, she started all of a sudden seeing like cows and stuff at our gate, having dreams about people coming to our gate and everything. And so
a person on the hill watching us.
Yeah, a person on the hill watching us, and a man standing on the top of the wall. And so it's just a lot of things. And so we had to go into spiritual warfare in this house because it's like new area. Once again, they know we're here. So we had to start doing warfare in our house to cleanse our house, to cleanse our yard, to cleanse our area and everything. And we haven't had any more issues.
And not to mention, same time that we were having those issues, that night after that, I went outside to take the trash out, and there was a poisonous snake on the steps, and I had to kill it. So killed the snake. And this was not a dream.
This was
real. There was a snake, and I know what snakes represent. So after we killed the snake, we took it outside of our compound and we set it on fire to burn it, and we rebuked it. So yeah, we just want y'all to understand. So we're not telling you guys these things to scare you, because our Father did not give us the spirit of fear, but we have to have the understanding that as we're coming back into this land, some of the same things when our people came out of Egypt the first time, and they had to come into the land and clear people out. Those people were into all kinds of things. They were worshiping all kinds of false gods, false deities. They were into all different types of paganism and witchcraft. Those things had to be cleared out of the land. We're coming back. What does Solomon say? There's nothing new under the sun. So we got to clear these things out of this land again.
And so, yeah, it's the same thing that's going on now with us returning. These false these deities, these false gods, and these demonic spirits, they're here. And they've been able to have free reign over this place for such a long time. And now that we're coming back, they see the spirit of Yah inside of us. They see and they know that there's something different about us. And so when we come here, you start experiencing different things because they're trying to make you afraid. They're trying to make you leave. Like, what in the world did I come to? But it literally is just spiritual warfare, them trying to make you afraid because they don't want you here. They don't want to give up this land that Abba has given us. And so the same thing, our people worshiping other gods. Our people worship other gods here.
Right.
There's an island called Pemba Island here, is where people from Haiti go to learn how to do the witchcraft voodoo. And so Pemba Island is right outside. It's an island. It's not on the mainland, but y'all, it is here. And so when you come here, you have to have the mindset that you have to go to war against these spirits. Yes, breaking down these altars. You have to start praying against these things and calling for these altars to fall, calling for these idols to fall. And you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of if you see something that looks scary. You can't be afraid of if you see a witch or something. You can't be afraid of it. You have to allow the spirit of Yah to rise up inside of you, and you be bold and you speak what the word says, because you don't want to not be strong and bold to stand up against them, because it is real. What they do, no, it's not. They cannot defeat Abba Yah, and their power is a false power, but it can have an effect on you if you are not fighting against these things. If you are not using the word to fight with, if you are not actively, even now, being in the U.S. or wherever you are, learning how to fight against these things, when you come here, you gonna need to know those things, because you don't want them to have the upper hand on you. We got work to do. And we don't have time for the foolishness. So it's like, when you come over here, just know that they're here. They know that you're here, and they're going to try and get you to leave. Whether it be messing with something where they're making stuff hard for you, where things are not happening in the time that you should be getting things done. They're trying to make you discourage you and make you give up and say, I'm just going to leave. Whether they're trying to just appear in front of you and scare the mess out of you, they're going to try and do whatever it is to get you to leave this place. Because they know if we come back to this place, that the word that the Most High has said, has spoken, that we read, it is literally, we're living it. We are the people. It is coming to life by us coming back here. And so it's like, if I can stop them from coming, then I can stop his word from being fulfilled. I can stop it from coming to pass. So that is what the spiritual warfare is all about when you come over here. It's Satan, his last ploy to try and stop what the Most High has already set in order. But he has not given us the spirit of fear. Even though he tries to bring fear, we rebuke fear. Because fear is not of Yah. When we feel afraid, that's not from Abba. And so we have to really understand these things. I have said before, talked about spiritual warfare briefly before, and I've heard people say, oh, we've been dealing with spiritual warfare in the U.S. Y'all, when you come over here, it's different. It's different. It's a different level of warfare that you go through when you come over here. Everything is heightened when you come here to the land. The warfare is heightened when you come here to the land. The blessings are heightened when you come here to the land. The prayers are answered more quickly when you come here to the land. Everything is intensified when you come here to the land. So I want y'all to be prepared. Be prepared and don't be afraid. Just realize these same devils that's coming against you and everything, these same devils that's been bothering us for our whole lives. And you use that word to say, if we're gonna fight, we just gonna fight. We just gonna fight tonight because I'm tired of you. That's what it boils down with. We have to, yes, start exercising our spiritual gifts wherever you are. Start exercising those things. Because it's real, y'all. I can't even say enough how real it is over here, and you feel it. You feel it when you're going into certain areas, and you just feel evil presence, just evil in certain areas. And so you have to be on guard. You have to be spiritually mature. You have to be spiritually ready. You have to keep, like he said, the word says, keep on the whole armor. You have to have on that whole armor at all times. Don't take it off.
Sleep in it, eat in it, take a shower in it, go to the bathroom in it, everything in it.
Don't take it off. And when you come over here, I'm going to say this because it has to do with spiritual warfare. I know a lot of y'all like still eat a lot of stuff. When you come over here, it's the reason the Most High is going to start cleansing your body. He's going to start taking away certain things that you want to eat, certain things. It's a reason for it. I cannot connect the dots for you, but it's something that food has done to us that the Most High has to strip out of us when we come over here, because it does something to us spiritually. And so it's a lot of ways that we have, even when it comes, I'm not a person that say don't eat meat or whatever, but I'm not gonna lie, it is something about that meat that we're taking in all the time that it seems it stunts you somehow spiritually. I cannot tell you how.
I'm gonna say this because I just came off of meat, but the scriptures does says that the Most High said He gave us every seed-bearing plant for food. So meat don't have seeds in it. But that's just me, you know what I'm saying? And the point of me saying that, like my wife was saying, about the things that we put in can pollute our bodies, our minds, and these people are using these things to attack us spiritually with physical food. And that's why the Most High said in Matthew 4:4, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord. Now, look, I'm not out here advocating telling people don't eat meat. Do whatever the Most High tells you. But we're just trying to point some things out to you. You put in you healthy things. Your body's going to be healthy. Remember, your body is the temple of the Most High Yah.
Right.
It is the temple of the Most High Yah. And so you don't want to do something that's going to hurt the temple.
Right. So, this is something that I can attest to. And it's like, I don't know. I know Mr. Scott said dumbs down your spiritual awareness, but when you're putting in more fruits and vegetables in your body, it's like your brain is able to focus more. You're able to meditate on the Most High more. It allows you to go deeper because your mind is clear enough to do so. It's a lot more things about this land. We are spiritual people, y'all. And so these temples are important to us doing these spiritual things that the Most High has called us to do. And so when you get here, the Most High takes you through things where He has to cleanse your body. Sometimes He may allow you to go through a sickness or something in your body where it's like, get rid of that. Because it's clogging you, it's fogging your brain, it's fogging you up where you can't receive everything that you need to receive from the Most High. And so be ready for that also. Be ready for Him to cleanse your body. It's literally, when we say He strips you, He's stripping you, not just off of the things that you may like in Babylon, different things like that, things that you're accustomed to, but He's stripping you of everything. He's stripping you of everything that is going to keep His people from becoming who He has called us to be. Now, some people is going to go against the Most High. We know most of His people going to go against Him because He say only what, a third, right? But for those who really love the Most High, when He tells us to do it, we do it.
Right.
Even if it feels bad, but we do it. Even when we don't understand, we still got to do it. I question Him. I'm not a person that say don't question the Most High. I'm a person I question the Most High. If you don't have to answer my question because you're the Most High God Almighty. But I do ask Him, well, I don't understand, Abba, why this? I don't understand why you're telling me to do this like this. I even tell him, if it's any other way, please, my desire to please you, so I do it anyway, even though I don't understand. And that's been our testimony coming over here. We don't understand why, Abba, you're taking us down this path the way that you're taking us. And it doesn't feel good when we're so used to being sure about the amount of money we're going to have coming in. We're so sure about what we're going to get this day, or we're sure. But then we come to a point where he has us, and I say us, that we literally depend on him every day. We depend on the Most High for our life, and he has been good to us. He has been keeping us. He's been leading us. And since we got to the area he told us to come to, the doors have been open for us. And it's all about being obedient to him. It's all about walking in what he's called us to do. Yeah, we went through some scary behind stuff, some trying stuff here.
We're stronger.
We are stronger. We are stronger, and we're learning another side of the Most High that we haven't experienced before. One of my prayers I remember was, Most High, I want to know you like on a different level. I know what your word says, and I know the experiences that I've had with you, but I'm like, I know there's so much more to you, and I want to know you on a deeper level, a different level. I know he tells us his commandments, he tells us to do certain things, but I'm the type, I like to know the reasons behind it. I don't like just to do something just to do it. I will for the Most High, but I'm going to seek, what is the reason you said this? Because I need understanding of why you told us to do this or not to do that. Not because I won't obey, but just because it's knowing my Father, is knowing how he operates. And y'all, that's our spiritual warfare journey here. There are more things. There are wonderful things spiritually that we have went through as well. Wonderful things. So the Most High has shown us beautiful, wonderful things. So it's not just all warfare and everything. It's the Most High is good. He's good, and the enemy will try and get you down and everything. The Most High, he comes through, and he's here to comfort you when you feel discouraged. He's here, to give you that pep talk. You can do it. Remember why I brought you here. You can do it. Keep going. Keep going. The Most High is good. When you feel like, man, I have nobody on my side, he brings somebody your way and say, hey, the Most High told me this, this, and this. You're like, thank you, Most High. Is the Most High, he's so good. The enemy trying to open up a portal to show you something, and the Most High like, let me show you this. Let me show you this. The Most High has shown me things as well that's so beautiful since we've been here. And so, hallelujah. I'm just thinking of the Most High right now. But yes, he's awesome, y'all. He's awesome, and he loves his people. And he as long as you love him truly, as long as you know that I love the Most High, I love the Most High more than anything else. I love him, and my whole desire is to make him happy, is to please him. Then he's going to protect you. He's going to be with you. He's going to teach you. And this is just one step in teaching. You guys know who our people were. We have a long ways to go. But it's step by step he's teaching us until the day we become who he's called us to be.
And so, in closing, I just want to share something with y'all. I've said this a few different times, but for some of you, this might be your first time hearing this from me. Remember this. You guys remember when the people said, we want a king. We want what the rest of the world has. Our people rejected the Most High for a king. And he wasn't happy about that. He never wanted our people to have a king. And he told Samuel, tell them this is what a king is going to do. But they still chose him. But this time, the Most High is going, remember, in Revelations, it says that the Most High is going to come back and he is going to be our king. So when you come here to the land, he removes every crutch from you. And he is making you choose him. And what I mean by that is he's making you have nowhere else to turn but to him. And those who are here on the continent, you're learning this, and I know you can contest to it, that you have nothing. Look, your family is not here. I'm talking about Tanzania right now, okay? We can't get a job here. You have to open a business. We came here with no money. He opened doors for us to be here. So we can't get jobs, all right? We've been going through these things and things that we would normally turn to this person and that person. We didn't have nobody to turn to for this. Didn't have nobody to turn to for that. Because he was saying, I need you to depend on me and me alone. So I want to encourage everybody under the sound of my voice. Begin looking at your life and ask the Most High, what is holding me up that is a crutch that is stopping me from truly walking in your commandments? What is truly stopping me from hearing clearly from you? Because there's some things that we don't even realize are crutches. Yeah. But once you come over here, this land will spit you out if you don't depend strictly on the Most High. This is his land. And look, ain't no half-stepping over here. No. Ain't no half-stepping over here. No. When you come over here, it's the Most High's way or the highway. And like my sister Denise just said, that's facts. You got to come over here with a plan to follow the Most High and him alone. Right. Now, don't follow people. Don't follow ministries. Follow the Most High. And be okay with people not understanding why you're doing what you're doing. Because all that matters is, am I making the Most High happy? Right. That's all that matters.
Right. It's people don't understand our steps, the why we move the way that we do. But it's not for people to understand. You know, it's for us to be obedient to the Most High. So it's like, yes, just focus on the Most High. You know, whatever he tells you to do, focus on the Most High and do whatever he tells you to do, no matter what anybody says around you, no matter what it looks like, just focus on the Most High. And he's not going to lead you wrong. He's not going to lead you wrong. So y'all that are preparing to come over here, y'all fast, y'all pray. Y'all ask the Most High, why you coming over here? Some people are coming over here to build because he's placed something inside of them that drives them to build. And it's before a time like this. For some people over here, they're the financial backers for the things that have to be built. For some people, they're the teachers that need to teach our students.
Medical personnel.
Right. For some people, they're the idealists that are coming to bring the ideas. For some people, they're the one who can solve problems. When it comes down to like we have a blockage right here. We don't know how to get over this. It's people that the Most High has given knowledge and wisdom to say, well, why don't you do this? Some people he's bringing over here like that. You know, he's bringing people over here for different reasons. So find out, pray and fast and find out, why is the Most High calling me to the continent? What is my purpose for being on the continent? Because you have a purpose for him bringing you back to the continent. It is not just about being back on the continent.
We got work to do.
We have work to do. And some people, you know, you might be brought over here because you're that person that's on that person's team that's like, I'm going to send this person to encourage this person. Some people, like I've heard before, they're literally, what is it? They help you to get to the next point. They're tools that the Most High uses. They're tools. It's not that they're supposed to be in your life forever, but they're tools that the Most High has placed here to help you get from one point to the next point.
Right.
And these are things that we want to pray about, and we want to know, what do you want me to do when I get to the continent? Pray and fast. Pray and fast before you get here. If you don't know, pray and fast and ask Abba. Be sincere in your heart. Make sure before you go and you start praying and everything, you start taking a close look at yourself. Just pray and start cleansing. Do a cleansing yourself, or whatever it is that you may be doing wrong. Repent of things that you don't even know. I repent for stuff I don't even know I do. That is I ask the Most High, Abba, please, forgive me for all of my sins, known and unknown. So do these things before y'all come here to the continent, because you're going to need to do it. You're going to have a pure heart. You're going to have a clear mind, and you're going to have to be spiritually ready when you come here. So if y'all don't like fasting or whatever, go ahead and start putting it into practice right now. You put in that fasting time right now, because you definitely are going to need it, y'all. And I love y'all. We love y'all. And, we're thankful for all of you. And, I hope what we talked about tonight, helps somebody.
No, I have this on the screen, y'all. This is powerful. This is loving the Most High more. Our sister Denise here, she said, I'm here by myself. All 4 of my children are in the U.S. She's the only one in her family who knows that she's an Israelite. It's just her in the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Hats off to you, sis, because to coming over here like that, that's amazing. So hats off to you for that.
Hallelujah. Remember, y'all, many are called, few are chosen. And so, yes, repentance is key. Repentance is key to having that spiritual power that you need, where these demonic spirits will flee, and everything. You need that. And yes, resist Satan, he'll flee from you. But you're going to have to rebuke some devils. So y'all be ready. And I ain't talking about how sometimes we call now Big Bro for him, but these small little demons and stuff like that, be ready to fight.
And know who you are. Know who you are. Know who your Father is. Remember, if the Most High is for you, who can be against you? You know what I'm saying? So just remember that if you have the Most High leading your way, and you know that you are walking upright in Him, and you are showing the fruits of His Spirit, you good to go.
Yes. So, you guys, that's it for tonight. We just, warfare is something that we just have to be comfortable with. And it's important for us to talk about warfare.
It's a part of this walk, y'all. The Bible, in Christianity, we're taught that, you just give your life and that's it. But they leave out he who endures to the end. Enduring to the end means spiritual attacks. It means standing on a firm foundation. We like to leave that out in Christianity, that, you just, oh, Father, forgive me for my sins, come into my life, make me a new creation, and that's it. That's not the end of it. You have to walk upright in Him. The old man has to die. The new man has to be with you in enduring to the end. And to endure means you're going to go through things, and it's how you respond to those things.
Yes.
So just make sure that you're responding with the characteristics of the Most High.
Yes. Tanzania, can't wait for you to get here. So I think that's it for me. I don't have anything else we want to share. few of our testimony warfare things with y'all.
Update on the.
Oh yeah.
So before we get off of here, we just want to give a quick update on what we're up to next, because we've had some people asking what's our next project. As you guys know, ourselves, along with our diasporan partners, we were able to complete the borehole project over at the school here in our local area. And so what are we doing next? We got a video coming out this week going into a little bit more detail about it, but there's a few other things that is needed at the school. It's rainy season here, so the roof at the school has got holes in it. And so sometimes the kids can't go to school because their classroom is washed out. So our plan is to repair the roof at the school. Also, over time, the steps and the floors have become unsafe at the school. So that's something else we're working on. So that's what we got coming up next, our next projects. And I'm not going to give the big project away that we have coming up, but we look forward to sharing all that with you guys. So you guys stay tuned for that video coming out this week. Probably release it either Tuesday or Wednesday. So you guys be looking out for that.
Yes, and we are going to be showing the full video of the borehole project from beginning to end. So yeah, y'all be looking out for those things. We're gonna do our best to get on here as much as we can, y'all, but it's when the internet permits. So so we love you guys, and we want to thank all of you for all of your support. For those who have been supporting the projects, we thank you. We love you so much, because like we said, we can't do this without you. When we're doing these projects, we're literally working together. It's not stepping stones to home. It literally is us, the diaspora. It is Israel working together to take care of our children here, to take care of our people here. What we were commanded to do, take care of the orphans, the widows, take care of the poor, those things that we were told to do. And every time you guys give and you help us to accomplish these things, we're doing just that, because we're not doing projects that's just something for us. We're doing things that are needed for the people here, for our people here. So I'm so thankful for y'all, for how y'all have been supporting, and we love you guys. We love you guys. And just
thank you, y'all's love.
Yes,
we appreciate
thank you so
that.
much. You guys stay tuned for everything that's going on in the continent. The Most High has not forgotten his people, and that's why he's called us here to build these things. Yes, it is for our children here that's already here on the continent. Hey. But it's also for,
man, listen, guys, you're not going to believe this. We must have made the enemy mad. So the power just went out, and so we have the screen so that we can see, because remember we told you at the beginning, our computer screen went out. So I went out and got a TV screen today so that we could actually see. So right now, I have no way of ending the show because I cannot see the screen. But hallelujah, I'm glad that we have pissed the devil off, so.
It's just one of those things, y'all. Hey, unless you have a generator, power goes out in Africa. So yes. It is okay. All praises to the Most High. We give him glory. And so, yeah, we're going to get off of here. I think we're just going to probably shut down the computer.
Yeah.
That'll shut down everything. But we love you guys. We don't know what you're saying. We can't see what you're typing in the chats. But we love you. And may y'all continue to bless y'all and continue to be with you. And we pray that he brings you and your families out very swiftly. And that for our family members that are still sleeping, that he will wake them up, and your families as well. And that we'll all be reunited here on the continent, because that's what it's all about. It's all about us coming back home to the continent, to our land that the Most High gave. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So the umeme, the power just came back on.
I appreciate y'all praying because I know it was because of y'all praying that this came back on.
So
hallelujah. All right.
So we're gonna get off here while we can see.
Yes.
And we love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully next week.
Yes. All right, family. Love y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.